All hail the PC. I'm just kidding, guys. But today I'm going to be giving you guys my top 3 reasons of why not to buy a next-gen console. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be calling me PC fanboy or PC enthusiastic or whatever. But I think that I am. And I think that consoles are becoming PCs. And the line is becoming thinner and thinner between a PC and a console. And soon Microsoft and Sony will be making PCs. Literally, just PCs. The gap is getting very, very close with the integration of 86-bit processing. And most of the console's parts are pretty much just PC parts. Actually, that didn't make sense. All console parts are PC parts. They just run code different. So what is a PC and what is a console? And soon will we even have consoles? It's all confusing in my head. But these are the top 3 things that I find wrong with consoles just in general, and I'm sure are going to come up in the next gen releases. Number 1 is hardware failure. Now, I know a lot of you guys know about the red ring of death on Xbox. And if you haven't, where have you been all your life? I mean, like, every Microsoft fanboy knows it. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about this problem. Now, this problem was caused by any hardware failure in the system. It could be a USB all the way to CPU or memory problems. It would just display that one ring, and it was multiple fixes for it. But you couldn't replace things because Microsoft put security on their console. So if you want to replace anything, you will have to go through them, and that usually costs you just as much as just buying a new Xbox. And this is what I find wrong with consoles. And I also know it's going to be in next gen consoles. Usually every console has this problem because it's cheap. And I'm not saying, oh, all consoles are cheap. They're a good deal, but think of how they have to make these. In a China sweatshop, I'm just kidding, I have no proof of that, but they have to make it at very low prices to fit consumers' needs. So there's going to be a lot of Xboxes made with all the same issues, and you cannot fix that issue unless you send it back to Microsoft or Sony. And if they're happy enough, or they will give you some type of warranty to get your issue fixed, you can't do anything about it, and you're stuck with that $500 or $400 brick. If you were able to switch out parts, you would not be refrained from booting and playing games because you have a faulty USB. Number 2, games. Not many games are available at launch. Around 20 will be available for the PS4 and Xbox One. Now, what usually happens is that the day 1 games suck. And that's a good thing, actually, because it shows you how much the console improves over time and how developers progress over time. You guys won't see many AAA titles or indie games for a while. Now, I know that indie games are going to be the first and probably are going to fill up the Xbox and PlayStation store. And this serves as a filler, kind of, to let AAA titles actually work on their games, have some stuff wrapped up, put a few more Michael Bay explosions in, and it's usually set around March or April. That is around mid of the first quarter to make sure they have good turnouts for their stock investors. But if you guys go to other platforms such as PC or tablets, games are already out because the first generation has just been upgraded and there's games already playable day 1. I know that a lot of you guys are going to be sticking to one game, actually, because Battlefield and Call of Duty Ghosts are going to be available day 1, and that may be able to carry you over into May and April, where Titanfall and Destiny comes out. Those are just the 2 major hits, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be way more games that come out in that season. And I have to say kudos to you, because to me, I have to personally play more than one game over a span of months, or I get really bored with that game. Especially multiplayer games. they usually get frustrating after a certain amount of time of playing them over and over because they all have their flaws, and you have to take some type of break from not breaking your controller in half. And usually in a day or two you'll be right back on, raging and frustrating, but it's your favorite game. Not to say that this won't happen on PC, but there's a lot of other games to rage quit too. And you might just leave your PS4 or your Xbox One on your shelf until you can get more games. Hopefully indie developers do support the launch, and there's a lot of titles coming out, DLC and all that stuff, to make sure that you're not bored. And that brings us to number 3, smartphones and tablets. This is the #1 gaming platform in the world, and I think it's actually evolving to a point where we're using these smartphones and tablets more than our next generation consoles, and may just turn out as a better investment. We're getting very close to matching the speed of the N64 and to the regular iPhone. We're getting 64-bit processing in our phones. Can you believe that? So what kind of future beholds in our smartphones? And can they possibly take up all our time? We're already glued to these things half the time of the day. What do you guys think? This is Creation signing off. I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys. Stay creative.